Hey everyone, so I'm on Pluto because I'm gonna play before he dies. If he does die, but... So, I wasn't going to make a video about this, but then I kept feeling the need to actually talk about this. So if you're not into the whole con news and you don't follow anything that's happening on Twitter or whatever, Nickmercs had a skin on Warzone. It just came out a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure. But unfortunately, Nickmercs' skins was removed. His operator was removed. It was pulled from the store. Wait, there's no attack insert on the server? Why do people do this? Oh fuck. It got removed because he made a tweet saying, stay away from our kids or whatever. Referring to a video of anti-LGBT protesters attacking LGBT supporters that were attending like a school board meeting or outside the school board meeting to decide if LGBT history should be part of the curriculum. And Nickmercs just said like, yeah, stay away from our kids or whatever, right? And now everyone is mad. This whole thing saddens me so much. I'm so sad. I've been playing COD and I've been part of the community for, 13 years now, 14 years. Oh, okay, I don't know how I didn't hit. The amount of people I've seen in replies, in tweets, in comments on YouTube videos about the whole thing, calling LGBT people genuinely groomers and pedophiles, it saddens me so fucking much. Because the whole thing is, right, this whole, like, pedo-groomer thing is, like, so harmful. Like, it's completely fake. That's the thing, it's completely fake. And I have a huge issue with people in the community actually being like, oh, Call of Duty supports pedophiles because they removed Nickmercs' operator. They keep saying like, oh, he was just stating his opinion. Like, why? You can't say anything online anymore. These people are missing the point so bad. Let me back out and explain this. I can't focus right now. These people are missing the point so bad of why the skin got removed, right? So for all of you that don't get it, for all of you that think, oh, COD is pro-pedophilia, oh, Nickmercs was just stating his opinion or whatever, here's why that was a big issue. And so big that COD acted immediately. The phrase, leave our kids alone, is something that the far right has been saying about trans people and LGBT people for like years now. LGBT people, gay, lesbian, or transgender, anything, are not after your kids. And that phrase is meant to make people think that LGBT people are trying to like groom their kids, like have sex with them, or like show them like nudity or porn, or like, gay porn, like gay nudity, everything, when they're clearly not. Saying leave our kids alone is basically portraying to his fans, I'm talking about Nickmercs, oh look, these people are after our kids. To Nickmercs' credit, I don't think that he actually meant that at all. And to his defense, once again, I don't think Nickmercs is educated about what the meaning of leave our kids alone that he's seen around and now he's using because he's seen it around means and was and actually is. So he probably didn't mean it in that way and he's just not aware or educated about all this whole subject, right? Like, just because you don't know, you're not educated, doesn't mean that you didn't make a mistake by saying this, To make it as easy as possible for everyone watching this to understand why it's so bad, I lay it out with like easy examples and very clear examples. What did people say during segregation to black people? All the white people used to say, oh, black people are after your kids. They're grooming your kids. They're trying to groom them. They're pedophiles. It wasn't the only argument, obviously. It was an argument of like, oh, they're animals, everything, right? But that argument of like they're groomers and pedophiles was there forever. What did people say about Jews from World War II to even like the 80s or 90s? Oh, Jews are trying to groom your kids. They're pedophiles. That was a big point during World War II especially, that oh, all Jews are pedophiles trying to groom your kids. And finally, what did people say about gay people back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even 2000s, and even 2010s? Gay people are monsters. They're pedophiles. They're groomers. They're trying to groom your kids. It's the same argument. Again, but this time, it's against trans people and LGBT as a whole. So how did people get around to... So how did black people and Jews get around to not having that be a thing anymore, right? To being way more accepted into society? Take a guess. That it didn't happen by itself. It did not. It wasn't just like oh, black people are good now, they're cool. No, something happened, so they became accepted. What is it though? If you don't realize what that thing is that happened, is because it worked. That thing is education. We started teaching kids about black history, about black people, about the slave trade, about all of these different events in black history. It educates kids into understanding that black people are normal people and they went through horrible shit just because they were black. Same for the Jews. At school, you learn about the Holocaust. You learn about all of those like things that Jews went through. And through that, for education and teaching the kids, oh look, Jewish people went through this horrible thing and those horrible things, and people used to say this about them. It educates kids into thinking, oh, being a Jew is just a religion, whatever, right? They are not like some monsters or whatever. And that's why you grew up being taught about black people and, you know, the Holocaust and stuff like this. So for you, being a Jew is not a big of a deal. But like 50 years ago, it was, because that wasn't part of the curriculum. Kids were not educated to accepting black people and Jews. They were being educated to not accepting them. It was up to the parents to tell them, oh, black people are good, by the way. Or Jews are good, by the way. And now, we're in a new phase where identities, right? So like lesbian, even gay still, right? Gay marriage is like very, very new, by the way. Gay people, trans people. There's a huge history of harassment, of murders, of suicides, of like assault. There's such a huge history of horrible things that happen to those communities, of trans people, of gay people, of lesbian people, of everything. But the only thing those people are trying to be is themselves. They're trying to be accepted as who they are. It's the same thing as black people trying to be accepted as being black. That's who they are. Same thing as Jews. They're just Jew, they're religious, they're Jewish. That's who they are. They're trying to be accepted. Obviously, religion is a bit different, but like, you know, it's still very much the same thing here. And people are trying to say that no, LGBT is trying to groom their kids and turn kids gay and teach them about like homosexuality, to turn them gay or turn them trans or whatever. People are saying they don't want gay teachers. They don't want trans teachers teaching their kids. Does that remind you of something? I don't know. Black teachers? Jewish teachers? That was a big thing. It's the exact same arguments. Like, those are the exact same recycled arguments as back then, as with those things. But now it's about trans people and LGBT people. Why it's important and why the LGBT is pushing so hard towards getting education so that they can learn about LGBT is to teach them about just like black history and Jewish history, about the LGBT history, about all the horrible things they went through and why it's not bad to be like gay or like lesbian or transgender. The main argument people have is like, I don't want my kids seeing dicks or like vaginas and like your genitals at school. And they don't. They wouldn't. Why would teachers and people that make the curriculum put nudity or anything sexual in school's material? And it's very funny as well, because you do realize that like in 5th grade, sometimes even 8th grade for a second time, you learn about sex ed, right? You see drawings of dicks and boobs and vaginas. They make you put condoms onto your fake like phallic object. And why do you think that was even a thing? Why do you think that was invented and put into curriculum? Is to teach kids about the importance of safe sex, because it's very important. It wasn't a thing before, it was a problem, and now it's fixed. You learn that shit so young, and it's very sexual. It's literally about sex. You learn about sperm, you learn about ovaries, you learn about dicks, vaginas, boobs. They have no issue with this. But teach them that being gay is okay, or being transgender is okay, that's too far for them. Being gay is normal, being trans is normal. And the only way to make it so it's not an issue anymore is by teaching kids that it is normal. Just like they are being taught that being black is normal, and being Jewish is normal, or Muslim for that matter even, or Christian, or Asian. It doesn't matter. Kids are being taught this, and they should be also taught that being gay and lesbian is normal. I think people think that it means, every day you're gonna have like classes about being gay or whatever. No. How many classes do you take about the Holocaust or Black history? Not that many, right? Just a couple. That would be the same exact thing. People think that you're going to get like a gay class or a homosexual class or a transgender class every day. But no, it will be like a couple of classes in the curriculum, a couple of lessons or whatever about the history of gay people, of trans people, and why it's normal and accepted to be what they are. A lot of kids later on in life will have those feelings of like, oh, maybe I'm gay, or maybe I'm non-binary, maybe I'm transgender. That's why they know about it already, right? They know about those feelings, and they're normal feelings. Not only that, but bullying. Oh my fucking god. Do you have any idea how much bullying there is in school? It's outrageous. Literally, a friend of mine had students threaten him, a teacher, recently. And I'm in France. I don't live in America. I'm in France. Bullying is unreal. There's so many kids that literally kill themselves, commit suicide because of bullying. And there are so many that also commit suicide, kill themselves because they're not accepted as gay, as lesbian, as transgender. Their parents are not accepting. People at school are making fun of them, making jokes about them. Why do you think there's no jokes anymore in school about being black? And all that bullying is what is driving kids to suicide. Once again, by teaching kids that it's okay, bullying will go down so much. Teaching them about all of these things is going to save so many lives. That's the whole point. They are not going to be shown like men fucking or like transgender genitals. They are not. That's not the point of this. It's a couple classes. The same thing as Black history, the same thing as World War II, as Jews, everything. It's the same thing. A couple classes about what it is and why it's okay. That's it. Teachers are not trying to recruit people into being gay. Kids are kids. Even at like 15, they're kids. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I guess I'm gay now. You know what I mean? Editor note here. By kids are kids, I meant like, they're not gonna care about this so much that they become transgender or become gay. All they care about is their friends, playing video games. But teaching them about it means that subconsciously, they're going to just know that it's okay and it's normal. Between 18 and 15 is the age where you learn your beliefs. You make and you learn about beliefs and values, and you're very impressionable. That's why, for example, it's so important for YouTubers that have like a younger audience between 8 and 15 to make sure the content is very appropriate for them and they're not teaching them bad values, right? Bad morals. That's why after segregation, it became a thing to teach kids about black people. All of those arguments, they're pedos, they're homophobes, that are going after your kids, and especially the one that Nickmercs is putting out here saying, oh, we parents should be the one teaching our kids about this, about all of this LGBT stuff. Well, people were saying the same thing about black people. People were saying the same thing about Jews. People were saying the same thing about gay people. It's the same thing. It's a cycle. It's the same thing. They just recycle arguments again and again. So there you have it. That's everything you need to know. To resume like very quickly, LGBT education is not sexual. It's not grooming. There's no sexual content. It's the same thing as Black history after segregation. That got incorporated into the curriculum. Same about Jewish people after World War II and the Holocaust. That got integrated into the curriculum. And now the same thing is happening with LGBT people. And unfortunately for Nickmercs, the phrase "leave our kids alone" is exactly the same argument, the same sentence, the same hateful beliefs being portrayed through that phrase as back then. And that's why God removed it so quickly, right? That's why they were like, okay, now, that Nickmercs guy, that bundle, get it off of here. We don't want to associate with this person here. Once again, I'm sure he didn't mean to portray all of those things, right? But like, that's what that phrase means. That's what it is. And I think he should educate himself, right? I think he should learn about why it's not a bad thing for schools to teach about LGBT. All the reasons being what I told you today. I think he should learn the meaning of like specific sentences before he says them. And it saddened me so much to hear all of those people from the community calling LGBT people groomers and pedophiles and shit. Thankfully, there's more people that understand why. There's more people that understand why that was an issue than people that are being hateful. But it still saddens me so much to see and I mean so fucking many. So I've seen like, in the past 2 days, I've seen like hundreds of tweets and comments of COD gamers calling LGBT people pedos and groomers and everything. People don't make research. They don't make research. All they hear is, oh, they want LGBT in school. Oh, they're pedophiles, groomers. Oh my God. Like they don't get explained what they mean by LGBT in school, right? Once again, exact same thing as black people and Jewish people back in the days. Exact same thing. And now it's LGBT people. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope I taught you something today. And yeah, I'm Taylor. And you take care of yourself.
The sun shines out of breath, but we never take a time out. We never coasting. We throw a toast, but we never slowing down. Living on a roller coaster. Like a minor, but I'm not a Too late.